While Africa leaves you satisfied, India keeps you wanting more. At least that's what Indian wildlife presenter and filmmaker Suyash Keshari believes. Suyash is also a professional safari guide and founder of Ameliya Safaris. And in mid-June this year, he invited me to spend a week with him in India to experience an authentic tiger safari. In the previous episode, we visited Kanha National Park and the breathtaking jungles that inspired Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. We couldn't have had a better safari there, and I've left a link to that video in the description below if you want to watch it after this one. This week, we're exploring Suyash's backyard, Bandhavgarh National Park, and this time he was actually behind the steering wheel in the jungle. I'll be honest, I was a little bit apprehensive about the timing of our safari, which coincided with the start of the monsoons. Would the rains put a damper on things, or would it bring the jungle to life and surprise us in unexpected ways? Welcome to Bandhavgarh National Park. Tucked away in the heart of India, Bandhavgarh National Park lies in the eastern reaches of Madhya Pradesh, within the Vindhya Hills. Once a royal hunting ground, it's now one of the country's most iconic tiger reserves. A wild haven where dense sal forests, rolling meadows, bamboo thickets, and even ancient ruins create the perfect backdrop for unforgettable wildlife encounters. Upon our arrival at the lodge, Suyash gave me a great introduction to Bandhavgarh by explaining how the park is divided into several distinct zones.
Villiers, welcome to Bandhavgarh National Park. You're finally in my home and I'm so excited for this segment of your safari experience. Bandhavgarh has been my home for the past 15 years. I know that tigers like they're my family. I know it's people like they're my family. It's 1,538 square kilometers, and on this map, if you see the yellow area, that's all of the core zone where only tourism is permitted. And if you see the orange area, that's all of the buffer zones where, of course, tourism is permitted, but people can come in and collect wood and logs as well. Of course, the communities. We'll be focusing most of our efforts here in Tala zone and Khitauli zone, where most of the tiger activities have been. Bandhavgarh is the highest density of tigers in the entire world. And tomorrow morning, we're going to be starting with Tala zone, hoping to get lucky. So without explaining so much here, let's see you guys on the drive.
And the drive started early, 5:30 to be exact. But that didn't bother me because I know that that's when the jungle and its animals are typically most active, including tigers. Helping Suyash find these elusive big cats was tracker and spotter Rajesh Saho, who's been working alongside him for over 10 years. Not long into our first safari, we found signs of tiger activity.
We have a pod mark. Looks like a female going this way. Probably from around 2-3 a.m. in the night. So we're going to follow them and see where they go.
That's good. The tracks for the tigress disappeared into the jungle, but not long after, we found evidence that a male lives here too.
Right here on this urgent tree, you can see these scratch markings which are nice and fresh. This is done by the male tiger that lives in this area known as Bajrang. This is his way of showing that I am the dominant male here. And it's quite far up from the ground. I would say at least 8.5 to 9 feet off the ground.
Just down the road, he had left his mark on another tree, even higher up.
I just can't imagine how he would get up there.
Yeah.
That's crazy, crazy, crazy.
As I daydreamed about the giant that had left those claw marks on the tree trunk, I found myself mesmerized by the beauty of Bandhavgarh, and grateful that, so far, the onset of the monsoons had been more of a help than a hindrance. The first rains had cooled down the air and already brought some color back to the jungle. And then, beyond the undergrowth, we spotted a hint of orange.
So the male tiger that we're seeing right now is named Bajrang. He's one of the biggest tigers here in Bandhavgarh. He's about 8 years old. I've known him since he was a tiny cub, and his father was the legendary Bhim. And we'll show you a photo of him right here. And you can see the similarities between them, but what we're hoping is that this guy gets up and comes a little closer for you guys to see.
Admiring a fully grown male tiger from up close was a dream come true, but it wasn't until he stood up that I truly grasped his sheer size. According to Suyash, he's one of the biggest tigers in all of India, if not the biggest. After crossing the road right in front of us, he made his way to a small body of water to quench his thirst, before settling inside a larger pond nearby. His belly was bulging, so Suyash and Rajesh believed that there had to be a kill close by. For now, he had been swallowed by the jungle, but there was enough reason to come back and to check this area again in the coming days. With the Bajrang sighting in the bag, we headed for the hills of the Tala zone, where we climbed a winding trail that led to something very unexpected.
So here we are at Keshari in Bandhavgarh National Park, very iconic location, and we're here in front of 3 different statues of gods. In Hindu religion, there are 3 main gods. Brahma, which is just hidden underneath the roots of the tree on the right, is the creator. Okay, and then in the middle is Vishnu, which is the preserver of life, maintains the balance. And then on the left, which is the Shivling, Shiva is the destroyer of life. So we believe that because all 3 gods are present here in Bandhavgarh, Bandhavgarh is blessed, and the cycle of creation, preservation, destruction always keeps on and continues on. And what's very special is this area is frequented by a family of tigers known as the Chakradhara female and 4 cubs. Bajrang also comes here. There's actually a very famous camera trap image of a tiger coming from that side and crossing here with this statue in the background. It's amazing. And this 13-foot long statue is actually carved out of sandstone and limestone here in Bandhavgarh.
Suyash's passion for Bandhavgarh's history was infectious, and in the short time I'd spent with him, it had become clear that for Ameliya Safaris, it's about more than just seeing tigers. And just like in Kana, they had again booked me into the most wonderful lodge. The room I stayed in was spacious and comfortable, complete with air conditioning, a coffee station, plenty of seating, and an ensuite bathroom. The property featured a charming gift shop, a refreshing swimming pool, and a peaceful butterfly garden. One of my favorite touches was watching a chef hand-pick some herbs from their organic vegetable garden, the secret behind unforgettable meals served each day. Our first afternoon safari was in the Khitauli zone. Wow, we really couldn't have asked for a better start here in Bandhavgarh National Park. That male, Bajrang, was absolutely enormous. Now that was in the Tala zone, and if you recall correctly, Suyash explained last night that there are 3 core zones open for tourism. And this afternoon we've come to another one called the Khitauli zone. We've arrived here nice and early because apparently a mother tiger with 4 cubs was seen this morning. Now, I don't know what our chances are of seeing her, but we're definitely going to give it a try. And I think Suyash wants to be one of the first vehicles there so that we can check for tracks.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you.
Khitauli zone.
It immediately became clear that the Khitauli zone was every bit as beautiful as the Tala zone. In fact, having been to Ranthambore, Kabini, and most recently Kana before, I can safely say that Bandhavgarh is hands down the most scenic tiger reserve I've ever seen. Whilst I was enjoying my surroundings, Suyash and Rajesh were carefully looking for fresh signs of the raw female and her cubs.
They were somewhere over there. That's another road, so Ramesh has taken that road. That's why I came from here. They were seen somewhere there. Yeah, there. They're like looking as if they're not very fresh. They're over vehicle tracks, but if you look at them closer, they look like as if they're from like the time that the vehicles left in the morning, and right after that she's walked. So we got some tiger park marks on the left side, and it seems like she's walked here in the afternoon because they're on top of vehicle tracks that came through in the morning.
We're just gonna give it some time and I'm gonna listen to the forest and see if it speaks back to me.
And then the heavens opened up. For the first time on our trip, it started to rain quite heavily, so we're going to put the cover on and just play it safe.
It's raining.
We were lucky to have some form of cover, unlike the herd of chital deer that stood calmly in the exposed meadow. Were they enjoying the downpour? Maybe. I know I was, because in the wild, rain never comes alone. It brings life. We couldn't see it just yet, but by the next morning, the forest would look completely different. There is so much water everywhere. The rains had rejuvenated the jungle, and the water collected in the hills was now feeding the streams in the valleys below. Even though we had glimpses of tigers, this day was all about appreciating the other creatures that call Bandhavgarh home.
That.
It's gonna dry your mouth completely and also turn it completely purple. I love it.
It honestly was one of the most magical days I've ever spent in the jungles of India. And luckily, it wasn't the last either. We had one day left in Bandhavgarh and had no idea that the best was yet to come. We entered the Tala zone nice and early and searched far and wide for tigers.
Is it the red-faced monkey?
No, it's a black-faced monkey, the langur monkey, making an alarm call for a tiger.
It's about 8 o'clock in the morning and we've come to this big, beautiful open plain. Just below the escarpment here, and we can hear some chital alarm calls and langur monkey alarm calls. And just further ahead is where we saw the pug marks earlier this morning, and apparently another vehicle saw another tiger cross there as well. So we feel like we're in a hot spot here, and we'll probably sit tight just for a little while to see whether another one pops out. Those alarm calls are close. When our efforts came up short, we decided to return to the exact spot where we had seen a very full Bajrang 2 days earlier. We have come past where Bajrang made his kill a few days ago, and I think everybody drove past here so fast because it smells so bad. The meat must be very rotten. But as we came past the second time, Suyash spotted movement, and he's actually still on the kill. You could just see the movement at the moment, but maybe we get very lucky and he comes out. There's movement, he's coming this way, he's coming this way. That was unbelievable. That's the sighting we've been hoping for. No other people and just a tiger to ourselves. Wow. How did you spot that?
Just
It's luck, eh?
I think the tiger gods were on my side today.
That was unbelievable. So where do you think he would have gone right now?
So right now what I think is, he's nice and full. There's a cave that is there just on this hilltop. And you see, he was very determined to go just that direction. So I feel that, now he's eaten. He just wants to sleep it off.
Yeah.
So he left his kill and now he's just going to go into the cave.
Amazing. The morning safari revolved around Bajrang in the Tala zone. But in the afternoon, we headed back to the Khitauli zone for one last game drive.
Yes.
Suyash, how do you feel?
I feel great. You told me that we were getting bronze and that hurt my ego. So today I went for gold. Let's hope that gold is also in the park.
I love it.
You heard Suyash. It's our final safari here in Bandhavgarh, so we might as well go for gold. So we decided to come here to the gate of the Khitauli zone nice and early so that we can be the first vehicle entering the park. Like I said, it's our final game drive and it has been the most incredible time here in what I think is the most beautiful park in all of India. And the team from Ameliya Safaris have really just looked after me so well. From getting from the airport to the parks, the accommodation has been amazing. The knowledge out on safari, it's just been second to none. So if you guys are thinking of coming to India and going on a tiger safari, look no further than Ameliya Safaris. I'll leave all the details in the video description. For now, we have to sit and wait for the park to open at 4 o'clock. Let's go see what we can find. Despite getting to the gate first, our drive was very quiet. Perhaps we had used up all our luck in the morning. But just when we had given up hope and only minutes before the park gates closed, we spotted an elusive sloth bear inside of an old anti-poaching building. This was only the third sloth bear I had ever seen in my life, and proof again that nature has a sneaky way of surprising you when you least expect it. What a great way to end an exceptional trip to India with Suyash and Ameliya Safaris. These two safaris to Kanha and Bandhavgarh also wouldn't have been possible without the support of my patrons, viewers and nature lovers from all over the world who support my channel on the Patreon platform. In return for making small monthly donations that help me cover things like travel cost and equipment, my supporters get rewards like early access to my content, exclusive and behind-the-scenes footage, and even mentions in the videos for select tiers. The top tier even gets a special shout-out. Hi Simon! If you'd like to learn more and show your support, visit my Patreon page by following the link at the top of the video description. And remember to check out the Ameliya Safaris website as well to learn more about all of Suyash's guided safaris and experiences. If you haven't watched my Kanha video yet, why not do so right now? Until next time,